Come, let me get you something.
Yo, welcome to Saber Talk Sunday. Mundo in the house, Mo in the house, and Barris in the house.
What's going
How
on?
you guys? How is y'all's weekend so far?
Oh man,
I'd say pretty good. I've got a new apartment and I've moved all my stuff. I'm just still setting up.
I can see the blank wall behind you.
Yeah, this is where my couch is going, and that comes on Monday tomorrow.
Now, Barris, are you gonna put some of your lightsabers behind you during the show, like on the wall there?
No, not this wall because this is the living room. I started putting them up in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got space in there where I can actually like put a small workbench where I can actually, tinker with it. I want to try it. What you see with my old apartment, it was only a studio with a retaining wall. So I want to be able to have a bit of a separation when it comes to workspace and entertainment space.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I got an all-in-one in the garage.
Yeah.
Entertainment and workspace. That way I can watch Star Wars and work on lightsabers at the same time.
Nah, not when you're programming and stuff like that. I mean, you don't want to get distracted or anything like that.
yeah, I learned that the hard way too because I was doing some of the wiring in my garage, plus doing some of the sheet metal work, all the little dust everywhere, getting where I had to make a little station inside my home office just so I can do the wiring. But yeah, you can't mix those two together. There's too much dust in there when you're working, or at least in my situation, because since I'm working with the sheet metal.
Yeah, that's true.
But my son,
I don't do that much stuff.
My son moved out, so now I got a whole room that I'm gonna use as my little man cave, my Star Wars man cave.
Oh, there you go, dude. Like, well, see, we have two rooms that my girls have moved out, right? So we're empty nesters, but yet my wife has managed to move all of their crap in there and move all of her stuff in there. And it's like, okay, I still got to stick with the garage.
It's like, sorry, son, sorry, girls, your rooms are my rooms now.
Yep.
That's funny.
But man, I tell you though, it's so cool. Like, we're gonna have a fun discussion tonight because we're gonna find out what's trending with sabers right now, and it's so funny because, and just to tell you guys, and I told y'all earlier, I got a brand new phone, so I'm doing the show on the brand new phone right now, and it looks pretty good, right? I've got the latest Galaxy phone right now, so I'm hoping that the stream is going to be really, really good and fluid with the new phone, because with the other one, I can look up stuff with the old one still, and that way, so now I can use the old one that I was doing the show with to look up stuff when we need to look up stuff, right? And not interfere with the show. So
I will say that with what you're saying with sabers, I will say that with Maul Shadow Lord coming out in a couple weeks, I will say that has definitely been trending, especially with lightsabers. Corbanth is doing a special on it. Just everyone is just posting up with Maul sabers, particularly the ones that we see in season 7 of the Clone Wars and what we'll see in Shadow Lord.
I agree with that.
The
right?
one in Shadow Lord, is that the same style? I really haven't gotten a good look at it.
The Maul saber that I'm talking about is one half is the half that he had when in Clone Wars and when that got sliced off in episode 1, and the other half is what Ventress had before she got the curved hilt. But technically, if we're thinking of in Maul in this case, it was probably built by him as an extension to add to his lightsaber. So it will be interesting to see if this lightsaber is the one that gets destroyed or gets lost, because as we saw in Rebels, he has a completely different saber.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So Titans in the house. Jim's in the house. We hadn't seen Jim in a while.
But I do know that from Kyber Phonic and Juan Sith that they're definitely going to do fonts, lightsaber fonts, based off of what we're going to see in Small Shadow Lord, which I get. I just wish that, I don't know. I wish they weren't, for some of them, like when it comes to voice lines, for example.
Chet's in the house. What up, Chet?
Because God knows how many Maul lightsaber fonts there have been made. I mean, we have Episode 1, you have Clone Wars, you have Rebels, you have all those. You even have ones that were based off the single cameo from Solo.
Yeah, and Juan said he's doing that Saber font temple right now too, right? Where people can go and they get a certain amount of fonts. They get a certain amount of fonts, and then I think it's 5, and then you get a free font.
5,
then you get
font. 10, you get a secret font. 15, you get a free font, and then 20, you
get a custom font, right?
Yeah, and I actually hit another 5 today, so I got 10, and
wow.
And I won't spoil the secret font, but I will say though that what Juan Sith has been doing with creating sound fonts based off of the Old Republic video game, that has definitely been one of those. It's one of those things where I think not many people think of until they actually.
that guy. I agree, dude.
Hey, Guy Syndrome, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm never going to say this again on a live stream. There are Star Wars porn videos.
Oh.
There are Star Wars porn videos.
You gotta look for him. You gotta look for him.
That already exists.
Oh my God.
It's funny.
We already know that sex is canon because of the Andor, but we do not need to see it. So just get it out of your head.
But it's a good storyline.
Oh
That's
my God. This is the wrong Star Wars. Wait, I downloaded the wrong Star Wars.
As long as it's a good storyline.
Okay, so that's gonna be a Saber trend too. We're gonna. Oh my God.
We're talking about lightsabers, actual lightsabers.
It's gonna have light up condoms, man. There's your saber right there.
Well, I mean, there is actually a Star Wars burlesque. There is one. There is one. It's actually quite popular.
Oh my God. I tell you one night I got so wasted one night with a friend of mine. We actually started making fun of the Star Wars characters and came up with some outrageous porno type names for them, right?
I really hope you recorded that and you send it to Lucasfilm.
Oh my God.
That would have been, oh my God.
Oh, that would have been hilarious, dude. We were up almost all night long, just busting a gut with all kinds of things, man.
Hey, speaking of, I'm sorry.
Speaking of what? Go ahead.
So speaking of George Lucas, I got a buddy of mine. So I guess this is a question. What would you say to George Lucas if you had a chance to meet him? So that's something that's gone in my mind. What would I tell him? Of course, it'd be something that had to do with lightsabers that I would do. So this buddy of mine, his brother works at a garden center up there in California, San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And George Lucas popped in, and my buddy happened to go be at that garden center. It was like a Home Depot, I believe, or something like that. And George Lucas was in there, and my friend went to go visit his brother, and they saw him there. Hey, that's George Lucas. Let's go talk to him. So they go talk to him. His brother was tell him, "Hi, sir. Can I help you?" Because he was working there, and George Lucas was asking about some kind of soil or something like that. And then he turned to my buddy. The only thing that came out of my friend's mouth was, "I like Star Wars."
Oh,
Oh,
And that's all
wait,
he
wow.
said. George
wait,
Lucas
he was
just
looking
looked
for
at him,
soil?
smiled, and the conversation
Congratulations,
was over.
Chet.
Oh, yeah. Wait, so Mo, he said George Lucas was looking for some type of soil.
Yes, yes, he was at this from I forget the name of the place, but he said it's kind of like a Home Depot.
Oh, well, in
Yeah.
that case, he should have done something along the lines of, well, I can tell you this, sir. If you're looking for this sort brand, that is not the soil you're looking for.
That would have been so good.
I mean, it's clever. It's clever enough to get it that way, and it's where you're not being awkward enough because obviously you're going to be awkward.
Break that ice when the Star Wars coming.
Yeah.
I would be starstruck to see meet George Lucas, but sometimes you just have to play it cool and just and then when you get towards the end of the engagement, you say, just so you know, I am basically having a starstruck moment, and the only reason why I'm not losing my cool right now is because I'm in a very professional manner. So I hope we can both appreciate this moment.
Yeah, he
Now-
was just like, "I like Star Wars."
Star Wars.
Now,
I
you know,
laughed about it all day. He was telling me about it the other day at work, and he was telling me about it. I was just laughing and laughing. Of all the
would be
things
too.
in George Lucas,
Oh,
that was a missed opportunity. I told him.
Right?
A box
Definitely.
opportunity, actually, if you consider the fact you just went, I like Star Wars.
Now, you know, in the trend, the trend has actually gone on for a good kind of while, because when we started with just the, you know, basically the character hilts that come out, right? I mean, we basically started with the Luke Skywalker hilt and Darth Vader
And
right.
Obi-Wan.
and Obi-Wan. So those three right there, those three sabers are basically the pinnacle of the beginning of the lightsaber trend, headed towards the custom lightsabers, as well as the let's see here, what did I put? Gosh, the high-end sabers, right? So they only, I mean, you've got the sabers in the movies that you've got pieces from different parts. And from that point, once we got those three iconic sabers, that the trend built over and over on itself began to spiral into the high-end customizations that we see, not only with the character hilts of those three, but an expanded universe of the expanded characters throughout the Star Wars lore, right? So from there, like let's take Obi-Wan's lightsaber, right? So from Obi-Wan's lightsaber, we get Luke's second saber after the Graflex was lost. His hand was cut, and we get him, you know, he gets his robotic hand just like Daddy did, and ended up making his own new lightsaber with the green blade. And again, customizing it because he had a hard time getting the crystal for it, end up having to make the what was it, the synthetic, right, the synthetic crystal.
Crystal, yeah. Well, I mean, that is definitely in that was definitely I think in canon there's something a little bit different. I know what he's talking about. Sorry, block talking. But yeah, I think in canon it's a little different. Hey, John Santos of the Collectors Outpost is with us. Hello, John.
John, welcome, dude. I hope you got your mug, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if Space sent it to him yet or not.
But basically, in the comics, an actual kyber crystal that was made green from a yellow crystal that was through like a vision or something. I haven't seen I haven't read the full comic, but I've only seen bits and pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was more when I grew up. I was more. I knew Legends more, like Shadows of the Empire, and in those stories.
Mm-hmm.
And Legends is still something that's still very much discussed, like on channels like Stupendous Wave, Geetsley, and that sort of.
Ace. Charlie's in the house.
But
Lord
ultimately,
Master.
I will say that what people really don't realize is that with the lightsabers that were used. I mean, the most common Luke lightsaber we see from Episode 6 is technically the V2,
Mm-hmm.
but ultimately, because of the magic of Mythtor, we get the V1 with the control box and the light up arrows as the main.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, if I was to go to Galaxy Edge and go up to the Luke Skywalker
Mm-hmm.
cosplayer guy who's part of Disney, I'd be like, "Hey, I'll make you a deal. Let me borrow yours. You can borrow mine." Like I will allow it, but I'll be like, "But why is it?" Because this is actually the real lightsaber. That one's just like the. I mean, it's one of those things where it definitely. I feel like there's definitely much more appreciation to the other versions of lightsabers that were out nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, Laura, it's the lightsaber trends that are going on that that have been happening for a good while. I mean, we can bring it down specifically to 25 and 26, but I really don't want to do that because trends happen so fast. We can bring everybody into where basically the trend started in terms of the original three trilogy type sabers to what's going on now that we get the high end custom sabers on top of the original trilogy and everything else in between, right? So the trends.
Aegis Sabers out. There's a company called Aegis Sabers that's based in Utah. That's working on lightsabers based off of what we got in the Dark Forces 2 video games with all the Dark Jedi and what was considered to be the old Inquisition, Inquisition Victorious from Legends. And honestly, I fully support it because it's one of those aspects of Star Wars that you don't know about and really got buried under a lot of lore and buried under when the prequels came out in 1999. And you only had like a few references to it, especially in the Jedi Knight, later Jedi Knight video games and in other Legends books and comics. But ultimately, it's nice to see that there's a Saber company at least making to work towards it. And he's revamping his version of the Kuan Ran hilt and just a bunch of others. And keep in mind that these hilts, from a design basis, they're very, very simple, but there is room to make them more unique. Like, not like design wise, but like etchings and acid tones, like that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, we even saw like in the back in the day, Kenner was one of the very few companies that end up making the plastic lighted up sabers, right? And then from there we started getting sort of the metal hilts. So the trend started going from the plastic to the metal, probably late 70s, right?
It wasn't until the prequels came out in the 2000s that we actually got decent like replicas to be sold like on the market. Like, for example, this right here, this is a constructed master replicas Force FX Maul. I took it apart because I thought I would ultimately have it converted, but never got around to it. But basically, this thing is essentially like, this is like in 2000, I think this was in 2006. Yeah, this is the 2006 hilt. This thing is the most thing you would have to a Darth Maul that you could buy on the market at Toys R Us or Books a Million or Barnes and Noble for like $145 because that was how much they were considering on the market. But nowadays they would be probably a little bit more considering the rarity of it.
Yeah, and go ahead.
For a little bit of information on those, for people that don't know, like myself, Master Replicas and Force FX are they two separate companies, or how did they get together?
Force FX is the term given to lightsabers that were made. Like, for example, Hasbro, the Hasbro Black Series, and the ones that we see at Disney, those can be considered Force FX because they're basic line. Now, they technically Force FX can also apply to NeoPixel because they would be in the same category. However, because NeoPixel and Golden Harvest, CFX, and all those boards are I would say in a much higher category. I would say Force FX would be sort of like a generational designation.
See, in space, go ahead.
But Master Replicas, they lost the right to produce Star Wars props after 2007. And Hasbro has basically,
How did they?
And Hasbro picked up the license. Master Replicas is still around under another subsidiary name, but they just aren't. Yeah, they exist. They just aren't like widespread anymore.
Oh, hold that thought because Space has a little snippet of the Kenner stuff. Let's see if it'll show it here. Just a second. Let me click on.
Star Wars lightsabers or join me. Go! I got it. Me too.
Oh yeah. No, they came. Oh, they came back as Master Replicas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They just aren't. Yeah. Just the licensing thing. There's no way they can get them back. Basically, all these sabers that we got from all the sabers that have been produced like by Nexus and LGT and TXQ, their original basis were originally the Master Replicas props. Like, for example, the Maul V1 that I have was is almost a direct copy of. It's almost the same exact proportions to this one. But I mean, these were the closest thing we had to the props. These were like full on.
Yeah, that was the closest thing. And then, and then the trend of it, because for a good while, like Space started doing, the LED strips, right? I believe they were the 5mm LEDs, and he would make the strips into the blades.
Well, technically,
but before that,
Master Replicas was doing that. However, what Master Replicas was doing and Hasbro were doing were like these little bulbs that were so like basically you could not do it.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely weren't as smooth, right? But that's what I'm saying is before that we had, Master Replicas did that, but after that we started getting the in-held LEDs to be a brighter blade, right? Yeah. And the baselets, and then from the baselets, then you had like Anthony doing where the LEDs much closer together, so you get a smoother ignition and LED and lighting of the blade, especially learning from Makoto, because he had a lot of training and a lot of stuff from Makoto that he learned from. And then shortly after you see, Anthony with those type of blades, then the trend started happening with the NeoPixels that were coming out. So the NeoPixels and Adafruit came out with a lot of the technology, and of course they're the ones that coined the term NeoPixels, right? So they're the ones responsible for the NeoPixels that we have now, and they are still the innovator of LEDs, NeoPixels, everything in between. Because even some of the boards that they carry, I mean, this is CFX, they don't carry that, but they started with different kind of boards that they could utilize themselves for making lightsabers. They actually had a few videos out of making lightsabers with I think it was like the almost like the Tinsy saber type stuff, right? But they had those their versions of lightsaber boards, and they were making lightsabers. I think they only came out with like 2 or 3 videos of that though, and that was the amount that they had, and that was the end of that. Of course, they're not known for their lightsabers anyway. They're more or less for your electronics for the lightsabers.
Yeah.
Um, and
Speak,
and they're a damn good company. They have very good reviews, and their products are very well made. I mean, the owner, she really knows her stuff.
yeah. Hey, speaking of NeoPixel lightsabers, I finally got my lightsaber in that I ordered from Rebel Sabers after helping them at Conuga.
Which one was that?
Yeah, Laura, it was Adafruit that coined the term NeoPix.
Mara Jade's lightsaber.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, when I actually was torn between this one, the one that TXQ makes, and the one that Saberforge makes, because Saberforge one has drop-in core. But honestly, I really like this version, and it's nice, simple, and this is the LDT Nexus version, just simply
The Nexus.
Nexus. Yeah. And honestly, it's really nice, and the core is just really simple. It's simply,
Oh, look, yeah, it looks like it's gold plated.
yeah. Well, it's not.
Wow.
It's just plastic, but either way,
Yeah.
it's really nice. And
Welcome to the dark side.
Oh yeah.
it's just really nice.
The 1 inch.
1 inch blade, yeah.
Yeah, I'd prefer 1 inch blade, like
Yeah.
the big. The white.
Feel the dark side. Feel the strength. Know the force flows through you.
Is that a Profi in that, or what is that
Yeah,
have
it's a
again?
Profi. Yeah.
Now, um,
And I will say though that when it comes to Rebel Sabers, I mean, their customer service is just amazing. I know one of the owners, Nikki, she is just absolutely amazing. So there are a ton of lightsaber companies out there, but if you want to get a lightsaber from a store and you need good customer service and being able to reach out with any technical problems or anything like that, Rebel Sabers has your back. Like this isn't me blowing smoke. This isn't me like being paid to say this, although I wish I was. Rebel Sabers, that's amazing. So
now,
and they can get any saber that's on the catalog for LGT, TXQ. It may not show it on their website, but if you're looking for a lightsaber, would you recommend Rebel Sabers for sponsoring a Saber Guild? Well, Rebel Sabers is actually one of the big sponsors for the Saber Legion, which is for lightsaber dueling and sparring, like actual full-on combat. I'm a member, and I'm actually going to their to Saber Strong in May, but basically they have lightsabers based called the Scrapper, and it's built off their VHC parts. And basically, you take it's all baselit. You take a 40-inch blade, use some spacers, and basically you have a full-on dueling saber. And yeah, and also
that's good, Tony.
Also, another thing you need to know is that because of all the one thing you need to know is that all the prices on Rebel Sabers, they have stayed the same, especially with how tariffs have been. And Rebel Sabers takes the hit for those tariffs and basically ensures that their customers are satisfied. Like at Conuga, for example, there was basically looking. They were basically there was three of them. There was Vader's Vault, Hooked on Sabers, and Rebel Sabers. And Vader's Vault, if you guys know Vader's Vault, you know that those are some of the greatest, like, amazingly made sabers. Like Alan Johnson and his wife Deanna are just amazing. However, they were also selling, TXQ and Nexus, and this one was priced at $599. I got this for like $265.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the fact that because of the tariffs, a lot of Saber companies have had to basically up their prices in order to keep up with it. And Rebel Saber has Dark Wolf and a bunch of other original vendors of NeoPixel lightsabers have bit the bullet because of it.
Yeah,
because of in order for customer satisfaction.
but that's been a trend also, right? It hadn't been that long of a trend that saber combat has come around, where you're fighting with lightsabers.
And I would hope that the International Olympic Committee gets off its ass and incorporates it as a freaking sport, because let me tell you something. I may never be at that level to compete, but I know of a few people who can, and they would absolutely cause chaos in the Olympic Village.
I think so too. That'd be something to see, right? Yeah. Oh, speaking of Titan, I sent out Titan's package to him on Saturday, so hopefully he'll get it, soon. It's going to take a little bit of time to get to him, but hopefully he'll get it and he'll enjoy the package, his prize that he won.
Yeah.
I'm on the Rebel Sabers site, and I thought they were for dueling, but they got all kinds of sabers here, and they also say they do an exchange. They have an exchange program. If you bought one and it's not the one you really wanted, you can exchange it for the one you really want.
That's really cool, man. That you can do that. I don't see very many companies do something like that, right?
Yeah, well, Nikki and Will are just amazing, and I haven't met Will yet, but I definitely hope to someday.
We have a lot of amazing people in this hobby, man, and they need to be appreciated as well, because it makes the world go round when you can actually get a product that not only enhances your experience of what we love in the Star Wars lore, but also enables us to enact out our dreams of being as part of the movie, part of the lore, part of the mystique, right? That comes around with it. So, kudos to all of those that provide that for us.
Yeah, they cannot, because lightsabers being a Lucasfilm patented term. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Zelicilius, is that if Lucasfilm or Disney went after one LGT company, they'd have to go after all of them, and that is the headache that the mouse does not want.
They already are screwing up with the movies. I mean, to go further into.
No. Listen, we have enough to deal with on our plate right now in the world. The Middle East is on fire. Russia and Ukraine are just going batshit crazy. People are going crazy here in our country over politics. Let's not deal with one company trying to go after the family, okay? Let's leave that alone.
I agree. Yeah, let's keep it into the positivity realm.
Yeah, I think
the Olympics
closed that door already.
If the International Fencing Committee in France, if the International Olympic Committee, um, if the International Fencing Committee can recognize lightsaber fighting as a sport, then the IOC can recognize it as a sport. And yeah, Titan, I agree. What happened with Electrum Sabers is just awful.
Yeah.
First off, Canada Theory Sabers does not count because technically Theory is a drop shipper, and basically Theory has become the other side of the coin as to what Dark Sabers is. Basically, if Dark Sabers, why did I say Dark Sabers? Dark Wolf Sabers is basically Dark Wolf Sabers is one of the first to get LGT lightsabers. Theory Sabers is the first to get TXQ sabers. And I know this because just recently the Dark Palpatine, the Palpatine saber with the black sheath on it instead of the rose gold sheath on it is finally released to other vendors. Which, I mean, it's nice, but at the same time, it's just. Sorry, that sounded like a sheep.
So when did we actually hit character hilts? What about the early 2000s, mid 2000s, or late 2000s?
Early 2000s, because one of the first master replica lightsabers were the original trilogy, and then also then there was, and it wasn't until 2005 and 2007 where we got Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of the sabers we got were original trilogy, and with the exception of Mace Windu and Count Dooku.
Man, I missed so much of lightsabers. I started late. I started getting into 2023. I missed so many lightsabers that came out back in the day.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're not far from me, Ben, because I started in 2017, but by the time I even built my first one, when I started working on Roy Boy, the technology for the boards already jumped up twice before I even started, getting Roy Boy together, man.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy that how fast technology has come, right? In terms of boards and what they can do, what their capabilities are. And again, you had a trend of the capabilities of each board as well. So with the characterization of all these different hilts that have come out, then you came out with the trends of the blades battle, who had the better blades and so forth. And then you have the trends of who has the better board, but there were so many boards out there. There was like 3 or 4 boards out there. There's some that don't exist anymore, right? Because the creator got sick and didn't offer it anymore after that, which were the I3s. Scott, I forgot what's his last name. Anyway, he when he was creating those, he got sick, and later on, he stopped making those. And I hope he got a little bit better, but I don't know the status of where he's at now, but in his health. But anyhow, Darth Alice would really make a lot of videos with the IRs boards, and they were just phenomenal boards too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's and so again, the trend right after getting into the characters hilts, then of course we had the boards, and then from the boards we had the blades before the boards, right? And then the boards were duking it out of this and that. So, you had the Verso come out, you had the CFX, then you had um, the Golden Harvest, and so those, and then of course your Profi started elevating. So now each maker of these boards started elevating their games on top of that. So the trends, the trend just basically went up to who could better who, on boards and stuff. But again, it all came down to who liked what and personal preference of the individual boards, right? And customization of these boards were very important to people as well, um, along with their type of budget. So you had to pick and choose really what you could afford, what you couldn't afford. Like CFX, they're a little pricey, but they're very good for what they have. And then you got your Golden Harvest boards were very awesome for what they provide. And then you have your Profis,
Yep.
which run like a bat out of hell with the customizations. So you can pick and choose, just like you pick and choose your vehicles, right? Do you want, like me, I'm a rancher, I need a truck, so I'm going to pick a truck that I can do all my work with at the ranch for, as well as good travel. But then somebody like Bears here, maybe you like a sports car, and Bears want something fast and furious, and I'm just using it as an example, dude. Don't get pissed. And so there's all these different options that you can use and take for your personal preference on your personal Saber, because you can go and you can buy one that's already got all this on it and stuff like that, right? And it's what somebody else chose to put on it, and you can be happy with what it's on it, but then it's not your specific Saber that you chose the sound fonts, you chose the body, you chose the blade. You didn't choose any of those items that you have bought, right? Whereas you find a let's take a Saber from the custom Saber shop. So now you're getting parts from the custom Saber shop. You build your body, you build your Saber, you got your whole body Saber done. Now you need a chassis to go with it. What are you going to have in it, right? You can customize that chassis any way you want. Whether you have it, um, whether you have it, here it is, like this, right? Whether you have it half wired or 3D printed or half and half to make it look, you know, more fluid in terms of mechanized, right? But then you have the 3D chassis that are printed out, and they can be painted to look the same and weathered and so forth. So there's another trend that ends up happening with your character hilts as well. The trend of weathering has come up exponentially in the last 5 years. The weathering craze has just been big time. And I believe about was it about 3 to 4 years ago, the big thing was acid etching as well.
Yeah,
So
those
now,
are amazing.
right, and they came out like, oh my god, some of the stuff that people are doing even with laser etching now is the trend that we have. Instead of acid etching, it's laser etching. And Solos has done a really good job of the laser, and there's quite a few others that have done laser etching that looks phenomenally badass. And but Cal, from KR Sabers, pretty much I think I believe he started it with the acid etching trend first. So it went from acid etching into laser etching later on, and everybody was doing the acid etching for a good long while, a couple of years. more or
Yeah,
less.
I try to do some of mine myself too. My personal,
Mm,
just my personal.
wow. See, and so you've gone from certain things. If you go back and you watch a lot of these old um, YouTube videos from the time when they started out doing certain things, and you can see their what what they did from the past to what they're doing now. You can almost tell a story from start to finish, or where they're at right now, right? And see how those trends have elevated our sabers to what they can be now, right? And you got the full body laser etching that just elevates the beauty of specific sabers. I could be wrong, but I think that's an appropriate assumption.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
guys think? Oh yeah, see, and there is a little bit of a trend of uh, saber companies actually dwindling down. I mean, some people that have been in service for years have decided to hang it up too. So there's a little downward spiral of a trend that's going on, right?
a lot of companies. I believe it was even mentioned on the last episode that uh, TCSS was talking about the same things. Somebody had mentioned it. I don't know if it's true or
What?
not. It's a rumor or what, but
Well, I hope not. I mean, that would
yeah,
be kind of that would be kind of devastating because I like making my sabers parts like that. I like getting parts from them. I really enjoy their parts.
I do too.
Um, simply because I can't buy a whole saber all in one shot, right? So for me, it's easier to buy all the different parts at different times. So if I can get a body and then 2 weeks later I can go and order the pommel and a whatever else that I need for it. So all the different parts I can break it up into a couple of months to get one whole saber. I'm able to do that through them, right? So if they go, who's going to take over that kind of service? And that
Yeah,
would be kind of devastating
there,
because I myself I don't know how to do any of those things. Um,
there's so many sabers out there that have their parts, and to shut down and not be able to replace parts, or yeah, it'd make a huge impact.
Hmm.
and so for people like me who rely on like the custom saber shop stuff, and I like the fact that I can pick and choose parts for my own customization because you have all these different companies that they're buying from TXQ and all that, but you're buying a whole saber that's that particular saber. It's not customized to you. It's not customized maybe what you're looking to build, right? So in a way, the trend of being able to customize your own saber the way you want it kind of to me it's not an overshadow of these other companies that offer whole sabers already, right? And so you have the ability to buy character sabers for what they are. And if you buy character sabers, I mean, everybody's different. Everybody, and I'm not dogging on anybody for this at all. So please do not take it into the wrong context. Some people might, but what I'm just saying is that people have their own personal preferences because they don't want to deal with having their own customized stuff. They want that character hilt personally, right? And nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, you can go and get, because you have the funds, go ahead and get it. But for somebody like me who wants to customize my own type of hilt for my own personal use, then I want that option. I don't want to have to go to a company, buy a character hilt, and then dismantle it because I want to make something different out of it, right? And there could be a time when that may have to happen where you have to buy these different character hilts and then dismantle them to make your own customized type of hilt that you want to make. If nobody's going to offer parts here and there for your own customization, or better or worse yet, well, not worse. I mean, it could go the other way around, right? Where you would have to employ um, metal shops to make your parts for you, and that can get really expensive as well,
Yeah,
right?
I modified my judger, the one I got from Theory Sabers. I modified and changed out the pommel because just to add balance between the blade weight and the hilt because it's so light. But yeah, I changed the pommel, added a heavier one, has brass in it, so
Hmm.
it's exactly what you're saying. People want to change up their lightsabers and
Yeah.
you know.
Hey,
Now,
Mo, how is that pylon lightsaber that you're making?
Oh,
oh, it's
so
coming in.
I'm actually in the weathering process. I don't know if you saw, I posted on Facebook that
I
I
saw
have
it.
a
Yeah.
video on YouTube. Uh,
Oh man, it was
take,
awesome.
I
Dude, your lightsaber looks like something out of like Star
I'm
Wars
sorry,
the video game.
I hear you. What?
Your lightsaber looks like something out of Star Wars: The Old Republic video game.
It is an ancient lightsaber. Yes, it's based off of Oud Binar's ancient lightsabers that he was protecting. There is no real pictures of them, so it's just kind of a concept that that I envisioned or I kind of imagined one of those lightsabers would be, uh, and I just created my own story based on that Star Wars lore of Oud Binar's the ancient lightsabers that he was protecting. I believe from Exar Kun.
Hmm.
Pixar Kun, yeah.
Yeah, so I grabbed a story from Star Wars and I created my own lightsaber from it. True, it's not per Star Wars, but it carries a bit of the story from it. So for me, that kind of brings that Star Wars lore to life within my lightsaber, even though it's never been seen or used in any kind of Star Wars books or comics or movies. But I'm creating something new from something in Star Wars that wasn't really. There's no real image of it. Kind of like the speeder bike one.
Yeah, from by
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They got a small little picture from one of the books, and it just blew up to this big, huge thing. And I think that's amazing. I think the creativity of these creators of these lightsabers, man, it exploded, and now you have a whole fan base for that type of saber. I think it's awesome. I think that if you can find something in Star Wars and create from it and not go deep into changing somebody else's design, then I think that's great.
Lord, that's funny, man.
But as far as the pylon one, that one I did post a video taking it apart for showing the wire routing and the installation on that. I don't know if anybody's seen that yet, but posted it a couple of days ago. And now I'm doing the weathering right now. I'm kind of experimenting with weathering parts. This is just a scrap piece of brass and trying to make it into uh, make it look old. First time weathering, so
Yeah, and that's such a big trend is weathering right now, whether it be light weathering, heavy weathering, and so forth, right? No weathering, because I mean we did start out with no weathering whatsoever. I mean, weathering was unheard of when when we started getting the character hilts. and the high-end sabers, and then it shifted to the reason the weathering came around because space is dirty. You're not going to get a pristine saber in battles. You're not going to get a pristine saber in any area of Star Wars because of space being so dirty and all the different planets, except I think the only way you would end up getting a pristine saber would be in Coruscant when you
High
actually
Republic era.
made your saber, right? Um, and then of course you had any of those kind of stores, where Andor, right? And um, all the other different shows that you could see. What was that one that oh, I don't think like not the Mandalorian, but I would say
Ahsoka.
yeah, I would say Ahsoka. I mean,
Well, I'm hoping that. Well, speaking of Ahsoka and her and the lightsabers that are from that show, I'm hoping that. Do you think it's possible that that Lucasfilm made it to where they reforge, where Ahsoka reforges her Shoto?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to it, and I'm glad that we're getting it at the end of this year.
Yeah. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 will probably have shiny lightsabers because they were more ambassadors than anything.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I went back to shiny lightsabers. My mind was still.
Well, I mean, keep in mind that the prequel lightsabers were were low production costs to save money, so they were just that's why we call them clan hilts. And the concept and a similar concept was done for when the Acolyte was done. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I would say when the Clone Wars series came, we got to see other Jedi with different, more unique lightsabers. So
Yeah,
the idea
Titan, I would like to have one.
the idea of the clan saber, I think, got more broadened out as when Clone Wars came into the frame because especially when it came to lightsabers like Dipa Balaba or Shinobu or like even with what Grievous had in his collection in the Lair of Grievous episode, a lot of them were very unique.
Laura, I would say a mix for me, dude.
I
I would say
prefer
a mix.
Yeah, I would too.
I prefer a mix as well. In fact, all the sabers I have on display, you can fight with them.
Yeah.
Now, would I recommend like full on contact dueling, like full on aggressive, like Hayden versus Ewan fighting? No, but it could be done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do
Yeah.
it.
You don't know how to duel?
It would be a mix.
Well, I mean,
Hit hard and
definitely not with. Well, Mo, I would say definitely with fighting, like how you see in the movies, isn't the same as fighting in real life.
Yeah.
I will say that if you have a basic understanding of swordsmanship and fencing, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah, I know. I've got mine, man. And I tell you, I was worried I wasn't gonna get my Crate Slayer, bro. Because honestly, that
Electric essence.
You gotta weather that, Mundo. You gonna weather it?
yeah. I'm seriously thinking about it, and then I'm thinking about kind of like not a rusty color, but more like a sandy color. I don't know. We'll see how it
You know
how
what I
might
would
do.
like to learn how to do what's the name from Genesis Custom Sabers? He did a
Dane?
weather where he bonded copper onto the aluminum,
Oh, really?
and it gave it a copperish old metal look to it. It was
Hmm.
awesome. He did it on the Dragon X, I believe.
Now, see, there was a specific trend that came out too, which was where people were trying to make, of course, plastic look like bone, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Like
Rob
Bane.
from Genesis, I think he nailed the shit out of it.
Yep.
He really nailed it with his
Yep.
Bane saber, right? Oh yeah, electroplating I think is a good is a trend that has followed for the last couple of years, where you can take your 3D printed parts and specifically 3D printed chassis and electroplate them and basically make them look like metal, right?
Yeah.
And or basically it's a light metal plate onto a plastic piece.
And
And
then
so
print from there, or is that how that works?
and I've been watching some of those electroplating videos, and it's a little bit of a process. It doesn't seem too hard, but then the chemical aspect of it, you got to be really careful with that type of stuff, because
Yeah.
you can really hurt yourself, because you're dealing with acid basically within that process, right? Hydrochloric acid and um, and electricity. So you can either, if you're not careful and don't know what the hell you're doing, you can actually get one, either electrocuted, or two, get your get, get your skin burned off if you're not careful. Um, let's see what else with the trends that we can see, and of course we got the unique colors, right, of the blades. So you have, the original colors. We had the red, blue, green, and yellow, and then we end up having purple because of Master Windu. And then after we're getting the purple, then comes your orange and yellow
And
lightsabers,
white.
right? And white. But the
White
white was the
silver.
ultimate, because it was the ultimate purification. So, and we saw that with Ahsoka and
Okay.
her purifying the crystal itself. And I think she was one of the very few people that we actually see purifying the crystal to a white blade, if
Yeah.
not the only one so far,
I don't remember
right?
anybody. There might be, but I don't remember anybody else.
I don't see anybody else so far as at this point in time.
No, and I mean, but I am hoping that Lucasfilm starts doing something involving the old Republic, because there is so much potential there, and even as simple as bringing to life the KOTOR games, like
Hmm.
that works. Like the KOTOR comics with Zane Carrick, like that is something that
Well,
would make a perfect story.
Jim
Like
says it's a low voltage, so okay.
like having it uh having the having it cross between Zane and Revan and Malik, like that would work really well.
There's a lot of stories too. Back, I forget what era that was. That was back in right after the Proto Sabers.
Hmm.
After
And
the
they
100 Year
they had
Darkness.
hundreds and hundreds of Siths still around, and so
Hmm.
many stories, so many sabers that were in that area. I mean, there's just so many sabers that can be built from just that era.
Hacksmith.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Hacksmith. Oh my God, I love the fact that he's actually made a saber that. Oh my God, just two things, man. Propane and what is it?
the Citadel, and
Acetylene. Yeah. I
oxygen.
mean, two things, and then it comes out like super. Basically, it's just a plasma cutter.
Yeah,
It's a glorified plasma cutter, but damn,
it cuts through metal
it
quick too.
it does. It does. I mean, he's done an awesome job. But you know, did you watch that episode where they had to be in that special room to make it?
Yeah, yeah.
That man, that was so interesting, right? So interesting. And so, for everybody in the chat out there, what do you think? What do you think that's going to be the next big trend coming into the lightsabers that we have now? Okay, I mean we've had the the blades, we've had the characterizations, we had the chassis, we've had the bodies. I mean, so what is next? What can come up into the next evolution trend of the lightsabers? Now that's going to be fun to find out what's coming up because um because the it's always going to be ongoing with the electronics part of it, right? And designs come up quite a bit. So then let's see. Laura says,
Yeah, the retractable blade
yeah.
from Z.
Yeah, that guy didn't.
Yeah, Z says that, yeah, the dullable retractable blade.
What's the internal tech, Lore?
The internal tech. So he's thinking about maybe some new evolution for the boards, right?
Ah,
And maybe the type of wiring that we can get.
yeah. I was discussing with somebody maybe a curved Profi or CFX that can
Hmm.
go around the diameter of the internal tubing of the lightsabers.
That'd be
But
interesting.
everybody's telling me you can't bend them. So, I mean, I've seen circuit boards that are now bendable. So if that's possible, just may take a little bit of research and development to make something like that. But I think it would be cool and
Hmm.
make installation a little bit easier.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jim's right. We do have new battery tech on the way, so um, that's going to be interesting to see, right? Now we are there. Now there is the trend also. Yeah, you're right, Lore, that we did have a new trend that where metal chassis have been coming out more and more predominantly. Um, Only thing is that with doing a metal chassis, that you have to be careful because, well, there people are figuring out how to, make sure that you don't get any metal to metal touching, so that you don't zap your board and fry it. I think in the future that if you're going to have metal chassis, complete metal chassis, no plastic whatsoever, then the next 3D printed parts, as far as metal goes, it would have to be metals that don't or are coated to the point where if they touch the metal to metal, it's not going to interfere with the electronics and fry your board, right?
Mm.
So that could be a real big trend in the near future for that kind of technology to come up, where you have coated metal from the start to finish that inserted into the bodies of the lightsabers themselves, that you wouldn't have to worry about zapping your boards and frying them and everything else like that.
I think also to battery installations, as far as everybody always has a hard time taking that battery out, having to put in a little file or something to take the battery out. I think uh, a new system of installing batteries would probably be something coming up. I know I'm working on something myself too, more of a flashlight type installation with a lid that snaps on and closes. But
Hmm.
I don't know if that's gonna work. But just trying it out, see if that works. But yeah, I think a lot of people are probably gonna start looking into uh, better system for batteries.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there has to be a better way of doing like a battery type insert than just what we have now. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good, but I think there can be room for improvement on being able to put your batteries in.
Yeah,
And Mo, you might have a good idea like that, in terms of having a system where it's just like you insert your batteries into a flashlight than the way we have it now. So that might be a good trend that we
yeah,
see, that eventually your batteries will be at the end of the Saber, and that's where you get all of that from, right?
yeah.
So
I'm
we'll
trying to make it
see.
independent from the pommel. I don't want the pommel to be the spring side of that.
Hmm.
Uh, so that way, if you can take the pommel off, you're not releasing or you're not turning that power off. I want it to be
But
independent chassis.
yeah, but then again, you have to figure out where you're gonna put the sound, um
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sound. Where is it gonna come from, right? If it's not from the bottom of the Saber, where is it
The,
gonna come from?
what's the name? Make those pinned speakers. The whole module.
Oh yeah, yeah. The modules. Yeah.
I don't know. Still kind of one of those back burner type projects that I've been working on, but don't know
Well,
if
we'll
I'll
see. I mean,
that soon.
there's always room for innovation. I mean, that's the thing. And I would like to see a trend of new Saber designs come out. At least for me personally, I think there is so many designs that we could explore, because we haven't never really explored where the Jedi have actually hid from, from the Empire. We don't know what planets they went to. We don't
Mhm.
know what that, like, maybe they did make lightsabers before they started hiding. And where did they hide those lightsabers, right?
Well, I mean, we
Um,
saw in Kenobi that there was, with the hidden path, there was a depot, basically a bin of all these lightsabers.
well, yeah, but who's to say who somebody could break into that bin, but we don't see what has been produced outside after Order 66, right?
True. What I would like to see more lightsabers from SWOTOR from the Old Republic be made, because we actually already have a basis for that, especially with on the
True that.
Star Wars wiki known as uh, swotorist.com. The problem is that they just generally don't sell well enough. I mean, for example, the Derelict, which was originally a Brad Lewis design soft furnace,
Hmm.
I mean, it's by 89 Sabers. Then there's the Loretto Sabers Dark Matter Saber. But the problem is that they're expensive to make and they can be really costly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Now
think
I know one of the another trend that we had is because you had quite a few installers, right? You had a lot of really good installers, and then we've had a trend where you've had some shady installers, um, and then it kind of dwindled down to where you had people looking out for, other people where to go in terms of looking for reputable people to buy and sell from, right? Then you had others that kind of like, they get money from companies to say good things about their company, when in fact maybe they may not be so good. So you have to do your homework in that part, because that trend has it bounces up and down. I mean, you're gonna get mountains and dips big time from different companies that show up, take your money and run, or you got good reputable people that take your money but give you the best experience that you've had in your life.
Definitely.
So with that, with that, do your homework and see, look where people are telling you where to go in terms of how many people recommend a certain installer, website, and so forth, right? I mean, this is the best that I can tell you to do. Some of them are going to tell you to go where to go or what to do, because that's going to be on you guys out there who watch this video. But but in the long run, ultimately you're going to make your decision. But again, make your choice in terms of look for reputable installers and websites. um, Check the reviews, see what people are saying about this company, that company, these installers, that installer, and then make an informed decision based on what you've been reading and gathering before you make a purchase. Because there's some really great companies and people out there, and there's some things that happen that people want to hurry up, and just because you get a low price on something doesn't mean it's going to be the greatest thing out there. So again, do your research, do your homework, and the homework that you get, then you can make your informed decision on where to go for your best experience. And again, go with what you can afford, go with what your budget. Don't get something that this guy can spend X amount of dollars, and you want all that stuff that he can get, but you don't have the budget for that. So yeah, again, your budget and everything else, all the different factors, weigh your options, what you can get. If you can get a piece here and a piece there and then put it together later, that's also good too. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I do that. I have a certain budget, and I'm willing to get piece here and a piece there, and then make the full Saber later, and then you know find a way to do my own installs, or find a way to do certain things that you can cut your budget down for your personal needs, right? Um, and again, that's a trend. One of the trends that I'm also seeing is there's a lot of personal CNC machines that are coming out, and it makes me wonder, if you've got all these personal CNC machines that are coming out, but you don't have the knowledge to learn how to do that, and you're willing to learn how to do this CNC machine in your own home, and you can afford that particular machine. I mean, why not go for it and make your own Saber, right? I think one of the ones that I've seen, they were close to about 5 grand, which is a desktop CNC machine. I'm not gonna name the company because I'm not going to endorse anybody particularly, but you guys can go and look in the trends of personal CNC machines and affordable CNC machines. And if you're willing to learn how to use a machine like that to machine your own parts, that kind of, oh my God, that would kind of scare me a little bit, because then that would kind of take away from like the custom saber shop people, right? Because, you know, then their sales come down because people are making their own parts. Where what would happen is that then those people are going to start producing their parts and introduce them into the hobby. And I don't know if they would be as successful as the custom saber shop is, because they have very knowledgeable people. And Tim, he's a very good person. And for anybody out there willing to make their own, customizable hilts, I highly recommend PCSS for all your, a lot of your Saber parts.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a example of that. I've even talked to Tim before, giving me some advice on some of the parts and so forth. And yeah, he's a good guy to talk to. And if you're building your own, man, that's a good company to work with.
Absolutely. I mean, he's down to earth, and he makes things right, If somebody, sends the wrong part, I mean, he'll send you the right part. And so um I can't recommend them enough. And I will stick with them until they stop. I mean, that's I will get all my Saber parts from them pretty much if I can get them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And even
even
make the
go ahead.
parts. There's other people that have access to lathes and so forth that can make a part for you. I mean,
Hmm.
the community is available for many sabersmiths that do some work. You just got to reach out to them. Like for instance, James from Mountain Sabers, I had a part that I needed made that no one else has, and he made it for me, and it worked like a charm. It's a perfect part.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and that's another person that I can't recommend enough is James from Mountain Sabers, because he's just absolutely kills it with parts and things that you need for sabers. Ooh,
He
excuse
does
me,
a lot
saber
of work
stuff.
and so forth.
So again, it comes down to doing your homework of reputable people, and look at the reviews that they have, and all that good stuff. And as a matter of fact, like and the trend of really good sound fonts, the trend of awesome graphics, you know, s- uh, blades styles that have just been coming out lately, and Lord Remkin, and you know Tristan, just just a few, and it's like, oh my God, these guys are just killing it with blade styles. And so you got another avenue of trends that are coming out with blade styles, and people coming out. I think that's pretty much the current trend right now is the blade styles, that people are kind of, where do you fit in from stuff, right? Um,
Yeah, and if you want a blade style of your own, a a custom made one, reach out to these guys like Lord Remkin.
mhm.
It's not that expensive. I was freaked out at the price, and I told him, "Man, dude, how?" But that's what he charges, and it's not expensive at all.
Yeah,
And he
and I'm gonna
does
get almost
pretty
all
well
of
done.
his.
Yeah,
Well, him and Tristan, right, from CFX. That
yeah.
because he learned from Tristan. He learned from Tristan. Tristan
Oh,
taught him a bunch of good stuff. And so when you get blade styles, those two are phenomenal. And not to say that every one of these people that contribute to the soul of the saber itself. Um, I and I don't know how you guys feel, but this is just my personal opinion that when you have um, each each part synergistically coming together, that really fits the soul of the saber itself, the character itself, the chassis, the blade style, the sound font, and the board that you use, right? Six components. Those six components along, okay, well, let's go with seven, because the if you use the character hilt, but if you want to, do your own customization hilt itself, okay? So seven components all together would make your dream hilt, like your unicorn, basically, right? Whether it be a character or your own customized type hilt. Those seven components together synergistically coming together and producing a unicorn hilt that you have in your arsenal is one of the most, how should I put it? Um, Elevated experiences that a person can get, right? Because not only will you be super happy with what you have, in terms of being able to take it to cons or shelf queen that you can leave at home, but just admire, right? Admire. Um, can elevate the experience that you have with Star Wars in itself. Make you feel like you're being in there, be part of the movie. You're swinging your saber while you're on the couch watching the movie, right? Get into it. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I do that. I sit on my couch and I'll swing my saber while Obi-Wan and Anakin are going at it. It's corny. I know it's corny, but goddamn, you're like, hey, I'm training with these guys.
Yeah, I put the blade in front of my wife's face and just turn it off and on. She's such a good sport. She doesn't. She just looks at me.
So yeah, man. I mean, to each their own. But again, you want that experience. That's what we live for, is the lore and the experience of being in that movie and being able to hold that weapon in our hand, right?
Yeah.
Varys, how do you feel when you get one of the sabers in your hand and you turn it on? Like, what kind of feeling do you get turning it on? There it is. It's there.
Yeah, you're holding something really special.
It's joy, right? I mean, it's pure joy. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, when I hear
Electric essence.
I hear that voice coming out, and I hear, oh, dude, like,
Nice.
come on. I can't, and I wish I had my blade, but I gotta make a 7/8 inch blade for this thing. But you know, when you hear these sounds and you're thinking, oh my God, just like, jeez. And I'm playing around this thing. I love hearing these things, man. And I gotta turn it off. I gotta turn it off because otherwise I'll be playing with it during the whole show, man. I'll be playing with it during the whole show, and I'm gonna play with it after the show. I guarantee you that. But it brings you joy. But any other hobby that you go through, you have to have something that you find joy in having, right? If you're a collector and you're a collector of certain items, the joy that you receive from getting that item is exponentially good every time you put it in your hand or get close to it or hear it or see it. And especially if you're watching the movies and you're thinking to yourself, dude, I have that hill in my collection. Or, man, I need that damn hilt in my collection. I mean, you get all these different thoughts like, oh man. And that's another trend. I mean, that's another trend, is the collectability of these hilts, right? The characters alone themselves and the collectability of each and every character that is out there.
Yeah.
Now, some may not be as good or as wanted as other characters, right? As popular. Let's go with the popular. Nobody, everybody wants the popular kid on their team. Sometimes you get an unpopular kid on your team, but he is badass
I'm
because
gonna
you
start.
just didn't know. You didn't know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Jim, thanks for coming, dude. I know. I mean, yeah, man. Doesn't matter how long you stick around, dude. I appreciate every minute you stay, for sure, dude. For sure. And it's the appreciation of what you have and what you get. Again, the biggest thing is the appreciation of your collection.
Mhm.
Um, Barris, the excitement that you get when you collect another hilt, right? The anticipation of getting that hilt, you're like, ooh, I can't wait to get it in my hand. And you
Yeah.
get it in your hand, it's like, yeah, boy.
Exactly what you thought it would be.
You know?
Exactly.
And then you may have sentimental value of a hilt that you get because let's say you went to the movies, your dad or your mom or even both parents took you to go watch Star Wars, and then a few months later they bought you your first lightsaber, and you end up keeping that lightsaber and it broke, but then a couple of years later they buy you the high end saber, and so it's sentimental value to you that your parents had bought you a high-end saber and you keep it with you forever because of the sentimental value. But
Exactly.
but you know it's the fact that you are living within the lore of the Star Wars universe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And there's the biggest trend right there. Living and participating within the Star Wars universe of the lightsabers themselves. Because the lightsaber is a character all in its own, just like the Millennium Falcon, just like Chewbacca's crossbow. Just it's each part of that lore, each part of that universe has its own character and that characterization that you get. Um, and the trends that come with it in terms of following the different things that you can achieve with these. I mean, like um even Barris, when you go to cons, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting pictures with people with sabers as well, right?
Exactly.
Um so I think cons is a trend that we really haven't explored either, because when you go to the cons and you take your sabers with you and you're walking around and people are looking like, well, I don't have that saber, but damn, can I look at it? Can I see it? Can I hold it in my hand? You're like, yeah, dude, like, what do you got, man? Let me look at what you got. you know
Yeah.
and so you compare your sabers, and so that is another trend that we haven't really talked about, is cons and the beautiful things that you can actually um and the people that you can make friendships with as well in the cons and sabers, right? I mean,
Exactly.
like-minded people. um
See more uh, parts companies in cons. There are a couple
mhm.
of them, but they mostly sell their sabers and have their parts specifically for those sabers. But man, I would love to see uh, TCSS or Saber Bay or Saber Merchant, all of those guys at a con. Man, I spend my whole check there just always looking for parts, and it's hard because when you order online, oh, it's not the right part or it doesn't fit like I thought it would. I like to see the part physically in my hand, measure it.
Yeah.
I everywhere I go, I carry a mechanic's calipers and everywhere I go, and a flashlight. I carry those with me, and if there's something I see that's nice, I measure it. Okay, perfect, I buy it. But yeah, everywhere we go, like if like we go to uh, antique stores or whatever, I always carry it with me. But yeah, the cons, man, the stories behind the lightsabers is not just the wielder, it's not just the Sith or the Jedi. It's the actual saber and whose lives are impacted by that saber, and
yeah.
and it involves both the story of the Jedi and the Sith Horde, and the story
Yeah.
of the saber itself.
Right. And Laura, I agree with you, man, because like I went to work, we had a Halloween costume party and stuff like that. I
Oh,
didn't get a chance to dress up, but I had a shirt. I had a Halloween shirt that's all orange and has Darth Vader and the stormtrooper on it, right? And Darth Vader had his lightsaber on there, and it's got the moon and I think it's got uh, pumpkins, jack o' lanterns and stuff on there, right? With bats and everything. But you got Vader in the middle of the shirt that has the lightsaber. So I took my lightsaber with me for Halloween, and I lit it up. And my boss looked at it. He goes, "That's badass, dude. That's freaking badass. Can I try it out?" I'm all like, "Yes, sir. Grab it. Here. I'll show you how to work it." And he just, I mean, his face just lit up like a Christmas tree, dude. And so, I mean, like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Laura, I get what you say. The joy that you see in people's faces too when you hand them the saber and they light it up. I mean, it's just like, wow, right? So, man, wow,
And
wow,
we
time
yeah,
went by really fast tonight.
Yeah.
Jesus.
what are we at? Oh yeah.
We're
Wow,
at an hour and 36 minutes almost, man.
yeah.
Wow. Man, I guess we better call it a night, right, man? So,
Yeah.
geez, Bear's about to pass out over here.
Hang in there, Bears.
Yeah. So again, with everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much, man. I truly appreciate it. And without you guys, the show wouldn't be possible. Without Anthony, Space Window, this show would not be possible. He allows me to run it the way I run it. I have to thank my co-pilots with me, Mo and Barris, man. Again, I can't do the show without them because I can talk and talk, but yeah, it'd be boring if I just talked by myself. You know, I like to have people that, and then Barris, he knows his shit,
Oh,
dude.
thanks, Laura. I appreciate it.
He's got Barris is very knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. So if you guys got questions, man, hit Barris up. He's happy to give you, advice on a lot of stuff.
Bears
Right.
is lightsaber encyclopedia, man. I swear.
Right.
Hey,
And,
quick.
and,
I'm more handsome than General Grievous.
Yeah.
and yeah, we'll be seeing Mo more on the show too, man. So we'll be getting some more people on the show. I'm trying to see if I can get some more guests coming on to the show as well. And I'm certainly going to be doing some more invites and see if they're willing to come on to the show. Hopefully I can get Roy Boy working again really soon so that when I get Roy Boy working again, I'll get Rob on the show and have him on. I'm a little bit behind on getting Rob in the show simply because I didn't want Rob on the show without me having Roy Boy working. So that's on me, and I certainly apologize for that. And so Rob, if you're ever watching this video, man, I do apologize. But once I get Roy Boy working, I'll email you and get you on the show. So and again, I want to invite all the people, and especially all you guys that are in the chat. If you guys decide that you want to come on to the show, hit me up. I will be happy to send you guys a link and come on to the show. I mean, that's what this is all about. We're talking sabers. You pull up a chair, pull up a drink, and let's have some fun, guys. If you guys got some other things y'all want to discuss on lightsabers, email one of us or send us a text on what you want to talk about, and we'll talk
message me
about
on
it.
the Instagram. I'm happy to do it. Southern Skywalker.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we will definitely discuss whatever you guys want to talk about, man.
Also, if anyone's on Vader
all the-
sabers, if anyone's looking for a lightsaber on Vader sabers, use my code, the Southern Skywalker, all one word, case lowercase. You will get 5% off on your purchase.
Nice.
Lord, you would? Awesome, dude. I would definitely, you know what? Find me on either Instagram or Facebook at Mundo Cabrera the Third. Okay, hit me up. And hit me up. And when the next show comes on, I will send you a link, and you are more than welcome to come on, dude. And anybody in the chat, everybody's welcome to come on to the chat, dude.
Yeah,
There's
anybody
just
out there in Chad, believe me, it's easier to ask a question here in person than it is to type it in all the time. I'm not a big computer guy, but I tell you what, it's easier just to ask the question. Come on.
Oh, on TikTok, KB Sabers. Yes, I do follow you, bro. Yes, I do, man. Absolutely. I'll hit you up, dude. And I will get you on here, bro. For sure, man.
Oh yeah, KB Sabers. That's right.
Yes, I do. I do follow him. I do follow him on there, man. For sure.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I'll get you on the show, bro. I'll get you on the show. Definitely. I'll
Yeah,
get you on. I do want to make the announcement right now before we go though, is Easter Sunday. I don't think I'm gonna do the show on Easter Sunday, dude,
And that's
because
this upcoming Sunday.
I think
uh,
so.
2 more weeks, right?
Two more, it may be 2 more weeks. Well, Easter Sunday, that I'm gonna reserve that day for my family. So,
Yeah, no
my
problem.
wife and if we have my kids home, I'm gonna reserve it for my family. So that just a heads up, everybody, that I will not do the show that Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, and Mundo, I may be traveling on Sunday to Dallas, so I probably won't be able to get on the show this next
Yeah.
Sunday.
Well, see, and that's another thing. When we have stuff like that, and also different holidays, I want to make sure that people enjoy their family for the holidays, and if it fits on a specific holiday, we need to make sure that we'll do it a following Sunday because I want people to enjoy their families. This is fun and important, but your family and your friends and everybody else is more important.
Yes. Hey, Lord,
Okay.
message me on Instagram. I can talk to you.
Okay, man. All right, guys. So I will see you all next Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, well, I'll figure out another topic for next Sunday. For then, Mundo, peace,
See ya.
and
Later, Chad.
later.